Oh Lord, you become super famous when you decide to go live on the Instagram. Let me go ahead and do something for this thumbnail here. So that seems good enough. So, hello everyone, I'm Derek the Chocolate Botanist. If you're watching this now, tell me where you are watching from. I am doing this new show. I talked about it before. We kind of started, kind of didn't, called The More You Grow, where I connect you all with legitimate growing practices from people who legitimately grow plants. We are hopeful that my first guest will be able to join on this here show. She sees an alien black girl, hit me up, DM me please, because we needed to connect. Let me know where y'all are watching from. We got another Dermite, Reg, that's me. So we are going to be chitting and chatting, and we have Shakita here. This is going to be so dope. We are going to be answering your questions that is relevant to plant growth. Okay, the people are telling us where they are coming in from. I am sweating hard because the things I was knocking over before I got up here was just outrageous. It's 80 degrees in this house. I looked up, looked down, it was somehow 80. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened. Y'all also tell me what the temperature of your home is. What's the temperature you got it at right now? So, Shakita, how are you today?
I'm great. I mean, it's beautiful outside. I got the birds tweeting in the background. I got the squirrels. I got everything happening here. So it's nice. It's lovely. I got my trees. I got the pool water. So it's so zen out here. So I'm good.
We love a Zen and we love a good. And I'm making sure you can hear me okay?
Yes, can you hear me pretty well?
I'm hearing you pretty good. I'm
Good.
making sure. Say something again.
Hi.
There
Lovely
we
to see
go.
you.
I think something's up with the sound of my end because I was trying something fancy. But this is dope. We are so excited to be here. Hey there, Kennedy. I'm supposed to be getting you back some information. I dropped by fifth season. I think that Thursday loved it. We love that you dropped by fifth season. So you are doing good on today. Y'all don't know this, but Madam Holloway here, okay, she is a transplanting genius. She is so skilled with the native plants. Oh, you got the big eyes on me. Don't do that. She is so skilled when it comes to growing the natives and taking care of the natives. So I just want to ask you a couple of questions. Y'all, as y'all are here in the comments in the now time while we're live, and sometime, maybe in the future, ask your questions below and we'll see what's going on. I want to know what got you into plants, my dear.
Okay. Honestly, if you think about it, sorry for in the background. I'm sure y'all hear the trees being cut down. But it started when I was a kid. So my granddaddy was a farmer. You might as well say that. And I just remember as a kid just running around picking blackberries, being like, "Oh, what's that plant? Oh, ooh, what's in the soil? Oh, what's going on? What is this?" But I didn't take that as, "Oh, that's something I should do for my career." So I just had a love for it. And then over time, I kind of went on a winding path, which I guess you have to sometimes to make it
Mm-hmm.
back to where you need to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because I ended up going to school and getting my bachelor's and master's in anthropology. And I'm sorry to say, please don't go into anthropology.
Oh,
You can have it as a
no.
minor. it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful side career.
Okay. Stores before, the anthropology stores, but I didn't know it was a whole major. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Okay. And so I didn't get into that, didn't have the finances to make it into a field school, nor did I have the capability because shy people have a hard time talking. We struggle. So it was hard to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually it turned around and I got into farming. So I ended up working with the NCYCC, North Carolina Youth Conservation Corps, in 2015 when I came back from DC. And I was like, okay, this is my thing, conservation. Okay, we're going to build some trails, use nature, use the rocks that are there, and build, stepping stones. And I was like, okay, this is me. Let me keep continuing with this. So that was like like a month or two program. And then eventually I ended up working through AmeriCorps with Public Allies. And I ended up working at Gear Street in Durham, North Carolina, and working at the farm there. And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be farming. I'm supposed to be growing food. I'm supposed to be playing in the soil, not dirt, soil. Playing in the soil, creating life, and providing food. So I ended up doing that for 10 months. And then I ended up working on a farm right afterwards, which was amazing. That particular family had 160 something plus acres, but they only had like 15 in production. But farming is it's tough. It's great, but it's tough. But I I loved it. I'm a hard worker. Like I love being outside. There's nothing wrong with that. And then they shut down sadly in 2022. They had to kind of go try to make money back in their old jobs. And then I ended up at the North Carolina Botanical Gardens and it was like, wow, okay, native plants. What? I didn't know this. All right, let me learn. So I've been there for about 3 years come July, and I've learned the importance of having native plants and agricultural plants. So with that love for both, I ended up kind of collaborating with one of the departments, the LACE department, which is the learning engagement department there at the garden, because I'm the hort department, because I'm a horticultural technician. And we ended up working with NC State and CEFS to basically get a grant.
Mhm.
And we ended up putting native plants on farmers' lands. So that was like, finally, my dream is about to come true. Like, native plants and agricultural plants should not be two separate things. They should be one and the same. Yes, they can't be. I mean, I'm sure you can finagle and figure out how to get them together, but I feel like they kind of complement each other. Like, you can't have one without the other. And so that's why I'm here. And then I've been learning from everybody there. Like the nursery team, amazing. Like they are so amazing. They've been doing it for years. Like I can't, I just can't fathom being like that knowledgeable about so many different plants, so many different Latin names. And I'm like, woof, this is a lot. And all the curators, they know the Latin names. I'm like, what's that? Can you repeat that again? And some of them are like, I'm going to remember you because I just love you.
Oh,
You're so darn cute. So
so,
yeah, that's how I got here.
so let's do this. I want you to do me a favor. And Kennedy did say what native plants were. We had a question about native plants. Native plants are plants that are native to the geographical area which you live in. So, like North Carolina, for example, for those of you who are watching this still in the future and the now, just type native plants and tell me what state you're in. Just tell me what state you're in watching this. For North Carolina, for example, a good native plant that you would love, I'm sure all of you love, all of you have seen before, is Echinacea purpurea, which is coneflower, purple coneflower, that thing that you would see. Thank you, Kennedy, for following directions. A plus. Alpha got an A plus too. We got A pluses in the room. One of these days, those A pluses are going to mean something. When it comes to North Carolina, you have that, or Jerusalem artichokes. For those of you who are watching, you can do that as a native as
Oh
well, which is
yes, the passion flower.
flowers, passion flowers. So you said you are a horticulturalist, and we did have one question from you, but I want to ask you this question. This is a question that has no right or wrong answer because it's what it means to you.
Okay,
To you, what is horticulture?
good question.
I know I ask the best questions, don't
Yes,
I?
you really do. You making me think.
Because and I can even say we model that. I was at the African American Legacy of Gardening and Horticulture on yesterday. All of my cords are tangled up, so we're just gonna untangle all because all of my
Well,
cords are literally like in a mess. That's why everything was about to fall over. So, for example, we would you'd think I'd be like a professional by doing this all these many years. To
look,
me, for
it's
when it
okay.
comes
Nothing wrong with that. Your cords are like the roots,
to
entangled everywhere.
look, my cord is like a box, entangled and nappy. When it comes to me as a botanist, what does botany mean to me? Well, to me, botany is plant science in a basic core, the how, the why, the when, and the what of plants. And when it comes to ethnobotany, it is the relationship that plants and people have with each other. We have a relationship that on our side as human beings is abusive, right? We abuse these plants. We don't give them everything they need. We are taking land like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
We are treating plants as if they are supposed to do all these things. We are lying on plants, saying plants
Mm-hmm.
can do stuff that they cannot, especially a certain Dr. Sebi. I don't like that man, but we're not going to talk about him today. When it comes to that is what that means to me. So to you, what does that look like when it comes to horticulture? And again, y'all that are just joining me, telling me where you're watching from, please tell me where you're watching from.
For me, when I think of horticulture, I guess I don't. I see the scientific aspect of it, but I also see the more sentimental aspect of it. I see it as, for me, it's cultivating plants with a reciprocal relationship.
Ooh.
They give you the beauty, and it's your job to provide for them. I'm not saying like it's to keep them happy. They keep you happy. Why can't you keep them happy? So horticulture to me is like, also, since I've been working at the botanical gardens, I believe in conservation. So I believe in protecting the plants, making sure that those that are a part of that region continue to be able to live where they've been living their whole plant life. So it's basically, to me, caring, the reciprocal relationship between the plant and the human.
Okay, I love that. I value that. I stand that. And for those of you joining, this is my new series, a new podcast. I really don't like the term podcast. I get over it because I've been on so many. I'm like, this is just more like a TV show. It's a talk show almost. It's a talk show, but we're going to still say podcast because, that's the branding. This podcast is the more you grow because when you know better, you grow better. Now,
Okay.
doesn't that sound good?
It sounds real good.
Know better, grow better. I'm going to get a shirt. Okay. Know better, grow better. It's going to be a limited set. I'm right now. Know better, grow better, because we need to be able to know these things. So we're going to go through a couple of these questions here that you all had. Some of y'all are putting stuff in the comments. We had Kennedy who said, was the curiosity as a child that you had nurtured by those close to you? Do you think that's what led you to do what you do today? I feel like you answered that, but if you want to go into it deeper, you can.
I think it's because all my aunts and uncles, like they're my elders,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew up. A lot of people told me as I was older, they're like, "Are you sure you're like 12? Are you sure you're 15? Are you sure you're 20?" Because I was like, "You were such an old soul." I had so many people tell me I'm an old soul, and I'm like, "Well, I was raised by a very country family who lived with nature. Food was provided by your granddaddy and your grandma. So I think it's part my family and their love for nature, and their like, honestly, it's just like nature was there. Like, how am I trying to say this? Like, they're just nature themselves. Like, to them it's like, we just living here, and nature is being its thing, and we're being the thing with nature. So that's part of it. But also, I think I just had an extreme curiosity. I was always asking, so why is this like this? Why is that like that? Why is the sky like that? So it was just me just always being curious. I'm just a sensory child. I touch, I
Mm-hmm.
smell, and everything about nature is touch and smell and hearing. It's like your senses
Mm-hmm.
are just opened. So maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
A sensory child, she says she was. How
I
many
was.
of you are sensory people? You grew up utilizing and accepting the world with your senses. All of us did in some way, right? But what sense did you use? What sense did you most closely use? I know for me, I touched and rubbed everything. I'm a toucher.
Mhm.
I definitely love the smell, of course, but touching is one thing for me when I'm doing like the scientific or trying to understand something. Seeing is believing for me also. I love to watch something be
Mhm.
done. So I am truly deep into that. And again, those of you who are in here, you are here at the, I cut on a thing somehow. I did not cut on this filter. I want y'all to know the filters are taking over. I'm going to leave it on though. Maybe this will encourage more of you to share this. Wink. So that way we can have some more views up here. So we had another comment, and I don't know if this is directed towards you or me, but L. Chubb says, I'm interested in how indigenous communities farm differently from European immigrants. Are you working towards something similar in regards to farming? So for me, I am not working towards what the indigenous people did, for that is not my culture. So I would feel it would feel disingenuous to me for me to be like, I'm going to do what they did. I'm very curious as to their practices just to know, and I would love to maybe integrate it in a certain way, but I'm not like truly diving super deep into it. I know that there was this lovely lady we could have all voted for who was trying to do some type of environmentalism towards the restoration and land management practices that the native populations did before they were run amok in the Americas. But we have a rapist in the office, so I don't know about that. I shouldn't say those words. What do you think? What is your comment on that?
To be honest, I intake being an anthropologist. Like I still have it in me. I intake all the information from other cultures, and I don't, like you said, I don't dive deep into the indigenous culture. I don't like the concept of appropriation,
Yes, that's a good word.
but I do feel like their practices is something that I feel like around the world people might have already done. It's just like you work with nature and nature works with you. Like tribal groups in Africa or tribal groups in, you know, different parts of Asia. Like I feel like everybody in the world has had some similar practices. It's just like that reciprocal relationship with nature. So I think I like to take what I've learned and try to implement the practices, but I'm not trying to appropriate anything,
Well,
if that makes any
that
sense.
makes total sense. So now, again, those of you who are joining in, more you grow. We have the horticulturalist, the conservation. She anthropology, that store. Okay, she is a degree holder of the anthropology store. You have the ability to reach out to her, okay, to us. And me, a whole plant biologist, her, a whole horticulturalist, a whole historian, right? To ask us questions in related to that, right? We are here for you, and we're only going to be here until about 5:45. Hey, Kiki.
Oh,
So
for
with
a second there, I thought you were talking to me. That's my nickname. I was like,
look at you, nickname. So yeah, the Kiki's plants. She has been a big supporter of yours truly here for several years, and whenever I can finally see her in person and give her a big old hug, and she some food, I'm sure she can cook. I know she can cook. I'm gonna sit at her table like this. This is a knife. This is a fork. This is a knife. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. This is me eating.
and I stopped.
And then when I stop, I'm be like, that was so delicious. More, please. And then we're gonna keep going. It's gonna be great. So we have here a question from Kennedy, and Kennedy used the question feature, which is at the bottom. You can have this box where you can have your question thrown up. If y'all use that, that'll be even doper, because then this is YouTube to Facebook, so people will be able to see this in all types of visual platforms, excluding the TikTok and the Twitter. So when it comes to this question is, do you believe the training you received from anthropology helps you as a scientist and a conservationist? We love these. Kennedy is beating y'all by asking questions. Okay,
Yes, these are good questions.
she's beating y'all. Okay, let her win now. What you got to
I think it does. I think being an anthropologist, it made me more, being studying anthropology opens you to a lot of different knowledge. I think it makes
Can,
you
can you
more
explain?
aware.
Can you explain to the people what anthropology
Okay,
is, just in case they maybe
gotcha.
heard the word before?
Anthropology is the study of human culture.
Okay.
So you have it's anthropology is the big umbrella. And underneath you have multiple disciplines. Archaeology, forensic anthropology, you have paleontology, you have cultural anthropology. So it's broken down. It's so many little branches coming down from that umbrella. So I was going to do archaeology because I was like, I love ancient culture. I like history. I want to be in the soil at the same time. I want to go find some tangible items that were from ancient people. So I think that part is the reason why I have that science, but also like the more human part, the more like spiritual or more emotional connected, because humans are emotional creatures. And even with the science and all the, artifacts you find, there is some emotional aspect, but there's the science of like, so they knew that you're supposed to take this particular clay and you can make a pottery and you can draw your life on there and then you can make this be something that lasts forever. It's just amazing. And then of course being a conservationist, you're like, well, I don't consider myself one. I feel like I'm a little wannabe. I'm just a lifelong learner. I'm learning from everybody that I speak to. I'm learning from Derek. I'm learning from everybody at the botanical gardens. I'm learning from the people I met at that symposium. So I still feel like a kid that's sitting in the class and listening to the teacher. But yeah, I do feel like it has helped guide me to the more scientific aspect, especially kind of like understanding the soil. I'm ranting. I'm gonna let you move on.
We love a rant here. If they've been listening to me this long, they've definitely heard me rant. So, again, the More You Grow series is live. This is why I keep repeating this as you come in and out. All of you coming in and out. Tell me where you're watching from if you haven't already, right? And this is your chance to ask this anthropologist a question, this horticulturist a question, this grower a question. So you have talked about being at the North Carolina Botanical Gardens, which Derek is on the board of directors for.
Mhm.
I told them I would be mentioning them soon, and here it is. The shirt I have on all of you is from them as well. This is a shirt.
Oh, the fly trap.
Yeah, I got this shirt a couple of years ago when I did the online Carolina in the Moonlight party, the garden party
Oh, okay.
during COVID. And I was the co-host with Damon. This was around 2021,
Okay,
2020,
okay.
2021. I was co-host. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. Even though I've never been to the Moonlight Garden, but I do see the pictures
You
and things.
never been? How come is that? You just don't go?
Uh, I mean, I'm the little girl that likes to sit in, be in the soil and be out in the field.
So let's talk
I
about
just like to see the pictures.
beautiful, but being in the picture is amazing. And here's why I say that, party people. You will never know, and either of you who were like, hey, you want to go, I'm sure I can get a +1 to come with me next year, this next year. So like, be my +1 and go with me and we get dressed up. The thing about it is to be in the plants and clean the dirt. I'm in the dirt right now as we're talking. I'm planting and repotting things,
You're
trying to
in the soil. You're
oh,
in the
I'm
soil.
say the dirt because look, the dirt, the soil, whatever you call it for me. I know we try to have, and I should be better, but for me, I'm like dirt, soil, peat, media. It has life for me. It
Mm.
has life for me. And this ghetto mix of things I have here is literally just some of everything. It has random crap from outside, random crap from indoors, all types of stuff that I've collected other people have given me over the years. So that's why I will say, even though I usually am like soil, because I know
Hmm.
people will jump on me, they will literally jump you. I, yeah, it's all the same. But I say get into the pictures, party people, because you never know who you can meet. Especially for us black and brown people, you will be surprised who is hobnobbing at these
Mhm.
hobnobbable events. It is simply amazing. But um, my comment now was, so we are familiar with the North Carolina Botanical Gardens and botanical gardens as a whole. Botanical gardens, for those of you who've never been, are this beautiful place where you get to see plants in a perfect situation. That perfect situation could be in your yard or in an Asian garden or in just an area where they could be just well taken care of. These plants are all over the world, mind you. Even the ornamentals that we enjoy are all over the world, but they can be transplanted here. The North Carolina Botanical Gardens is actually my favorite to go to in the state
Oh,
so far
lovely.
because it
Mhm.
showcases the natives. In North Carolina's natives, the people are rough. The racists are rough. I don't like those racist people that are native here. But the plants that are native, they are stunning, from Jerusalem artichokes, different pines, different magnolias, carnivorous plants. They are so dope to me. You mentioned lightly how you got involved with the botanical garden. I want you to kind of give us an overview because we need to jump into your work. We spent so much
Okay.
rambling. We're gonna have to definitely have you back on.
Okay.
Tell us a little about what you be doing out there at the botanical garden.
All right. So again, my title is horticultural technician. So there are three different curators, and each curator takes care of the different habitats. So you
Mm-hmm.
have mountain habitat, the Piedmont habitat, the children's run garden. You have the courtyard. You have the so many spaces. You have the GFPF. Then you have the herb garden, and I love the herb garden. That's my herbalism side right there. But we're gonna move on. We don't have much time, so I'm gonna stop ranting. But yes, so for those three different curators, I work with them throughout the week, and I weed, I rake, keep the garden looking, spiffy. I'm also helping to, because sometimes you have some native plants that are a little bit, happy. So they like to take over spaces sometimes. So you have to remove them so that particular plant that's there can grow more. And then you take those plants that aren't supposed to be, too much of them or not there, and give them to the nursery people so they can grow those up and do what they can with those. And so my thing is to be a part of that. So whatever the curator needs to work on, that's what I'm there. I'm there for assistance and support. So I'm there to learn. So I learn all the different grasses. I'm learning all the different herbaceous plants. I'm learning the different woodies. Woodies are difficult, but I'm learning them. But I work with the nursery team from time to time, like during like our spring plant sale, which is coming up for the public. And so I help with like getting things prepped and making sure we can restock the plants. So I'm all over the place. My hands have touched everywhere in that garden.
Mm.
So
What's your
that's
favorite area?
what I do. What'd you say
What's your
there?
favorite area you touched so far? Like
I
top,
really,
top
I
two.
really do love the herb garden because that's my little farmer and me. Like, oh, I miss you, agricultural plants. So that is my favorite spot. But then second is the mountain habitat because I love the mountains. I mean, I went to Western Carolina University for my undergrad, and man, it's beautiful
Mm.
there. So to see the mountains in the Piedmont, it's like, oh, and all those beautiful trilliums and trout lilies and the blood roots, and then the beautiful trees, red bud. Oh, it's so lovely. So those are like my two favorite spaces at the gardens.
Spaces. So then this is y'all's final hurrah. We're gonna got a couple minutes before we jump off here because I try not to stay up here too long because y'all don't be, giving us what we want when we stay up here longer than 30 minutes. Okay. Us is me. Y'all don't be giving me what I want. I want you all to ask your questions in the comments. Okay. Now again, if you're watching this in the future, maybe Shakita here will say, okay, let me jump in and I'll answer some questions. Maybe she won't. I don't know. I don't know if I'm even going to answer questions because I've been here. Where was you at? Where was you at? But you gonna get your questions together, type them up. Use the question box at the bottom, not just the comments with a little question with the circle with a question mark in it. Please use that if you can. So that way the people can see this in perpetuity when we have it up. So you said you love the herb garden. I love their herb garden as well. Their herb garden for me, it's beautiful now, but pre-pandemic was to die for. I had great intentions. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I had great intentions of going out there with a water bottle. You drink the water. You leave a little bit at the bottom. They have a water fountain, so you can drink all the water, put a little bit in there. I'd carry a second water bottle that was already full. I had nice cold water. And you walk out and see if you have a pair of scissors, that's too obvious. So I just wouldn't cut my nails, and I could just snip pieces of different things. You should not do that with herb garden or botanical.
No.
But I have great intentions of doing that because they had such beautiful sages. They still do beautiful sages, beautiful rosemary, all types of beautiful plants. Okay. And I just wanted a little nibble, a little piece, just a little bite of all of the different plants. And maybe in my past from a different botanical garden, or maybe that one I might have taken seeds or seed heads in the past. Who knows? Maybe I still got them in a mason jar and I never did anything with them. Who's to say? But what my last question to you will be, being this horticulturalist that has touched all these areas, what is one stunning thing you've learned? I know you learned so much from being in all your different places across your life. But what is one stunning thing related to plant care and plant growth you have learned that you feel will help the people? Because again, the more you grow is about knowing better and growing better. So what can you give people that help them grow better? It doesn't have to be a horticultural thing. It could be some life lesson, right? For me, it was, and I worked at the phytotron. There's a lot of cool science that I don't even know about at NC State. I worked on campus at the phytotron. I was like, wow, there's a lot of cool things going on, and there's a lot of cool ways to do plant stuff. There's a lot of tools and techniques that we just don't know. And sometimes the thing you're looking for has already been invented or tested out. So that was one thing I learned from there. Working at the USDA at a farm in Clinton, I learned like, hey, it's real hot outside, and when you walk the field, corn is very sharp. Y'all don't know this. Corn leaves are very sharp. You ever been cut in the eye with
Oh my gosh.
okay, I have. You're surrounded
Oh.
by pollen all. You get all of allergies. I sunburned. My first time getting sunburned was in a field in Clayton. I was so bronze. I loved my skin color. You know, too. Still had complexion the day of here. Many times I'd be an OnlyFans model. But with that, with that, what is something that you have learned that you would like to share to the people? And then we'll go from there.
All right. To be honest, since I'm the soil, like I love my soil. That's my end goal is soil science. I'm already doing a certificate for it and eventually master's PhD, hopefully. But soil is so important. I just like us, they need soil. They need the right type of soil, or at least a soil that they like to be happy. So I think knowing what your plants need is the most important thing. Like, know what your plant needs. It's not about you. It's not about, well, I want you to do this. It's about, well, what do I need to give you, plant? You know, like, what do I need to give you? That's what I think is important.
What do I need to give you in providing to them what they need? We got one last question and then we out of here. And it's again from who else? Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Okay, and actually, you would have saw her yesterday. She was out at the African American Legacy of Gardening and Horticulture. I was a panelist.
Okay.
She,
Oh, Kennedy Brinson. Okay, I remember.
yeah,
Sorry.
she was out there on yesterday, and I was a panelist. We had myself, Terry Spite, a bunch of beautiful people, black folks in Durham, talking about plants, gardening, and blackness. Right? What does it mean to be black and to garden? And it was a phenomenal time. Okay.
Mm.
And Kennedy, your friend Erin, I don't know if you gave her my number, but make sure you do so we can connect. Kennedy asked this question. That was a whole delay for you to be able to read that question and have your answer. Kennedy asked this question: what NC native plants can also serve as food that you wish more people answered? I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll
Mm.
my answer.
Ha. Well, I think pawpaws.
Ooh, tell people what a pawpaw is. Is it your
Oh,
granddaddy? Some people pawpaws been chewing that back. They
so
pawpaws been chewing that backer, and they like, you know what, pawpaw, gotta get out here.
no, your pawpaws is these. They're not my favorite. I think my taste bud would just have to adapt, but they're
Uh,
like this creamy, kind of almost custard, semi banana flavored fruit. They're green and they're about, I mean, you can get a pawpaw that's probably about that big. But
okay.
they're the ones I had was about probably this big. And
Uh,
it's very, it smells so good. Oh my God, it smells so
mm-hmm.
good. And it's like, ooh, my taste buds. But it is, I guess for that particular bush, I think it's a bush, more like a bush. Well, no, not a bush, but like multiple stands. But you need a male and a female, right? For it to produce fruit. But it is one of those native plants that are now coming back to being like, oh wow, that's one of our native fruits. I gotta plant that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Pawpaws are amazing party people. They are a fruit that has a custard-like texture if you've never had one. The flavor, some people are like, what's the flavor like? I know you want to know. It's, for me, it was described as like a pineapple, banana,
Mm-hmm.
mango-y flavor. And it's pretty much like faint, but all three of those. Um, there's some that actually grow behind this apartment building, and somebody moved in and was like, "Y'all know
Oh.
pawpaws back there?" And I was like, "I hoped you would never know because I figure out who was taking like birds or like the squirrels or what." But the reason you don't see them like in mass production, like apples and oranges and things like that, is
Mm-hmm.
they don't have a long shelf life,
Yeah.
and you can't really tell when they're ripe without touching them. It's
Mm-hmm.
very odd thing. For me, I would say Jerusalem artichokes. Oh, we got another question. I'm gonna give this one last
Oh,
question, then we're gonna be done.
okay.
Jerusalem artichokes. That's one thing I wish people grew, because with like an inch or so, a little knob of this potatoy, starchy thing, you could get these gigantonormous sunflowers, right? Just very tall, just invasive, wild, overtaking sunflowers. But you harvest and you just leave a couple of knobs in, especially here in North Carolina where they're native and they can survive the winters. You harvest them and you can have this beautiful, again, starchy thing. So I love them. I wish more people grew them. But pawpaws is also a great answer. Last
Mm-hmm.
question, real this time. Is there a quick way to understanding soil test results? It's my struggle at the moment. Thank you.
Hmm. Hey, I'm still a little bit of a learner myself, but I I would, to be honest, I would go and talk to my extension agent because they want you to get to come and ask them questions.
That's
They want
yeah.
you to come to them. I would go to my extension agent and be like, please break this down. But your MPK, you all right back there. Look now, don't die on me. The MPK is the easiest thing to understand. It's like your nitrogen, your phosphorus, and potassium. But the rest of that, I definitely would communicate with my extension agent. I'm sorry I called you out, but you about
I
died over there.
I hope nobody sees this. And you're like, you okay? He's choking everybody. Y'all look at him. He's coughing up a
But
storm.
hey there, look
Have you
who
been
survived.
water long, you 7-year old? What are you, 6 months old? Can you hold up your head? That- okay. Um, so to answer that question, because the water went down the wrong way, extension, when you go, and I'm assuming you're getting the soil test from Cooperative Extension. I know
Mhm.
some of you, your favorites online will tell you to go and get a soil test from some random company they may or may not have a deal with. But you can go to cooperative extension in your county in the United States and be able to get a real accurate representation of what your soil needs for whatever plants you're growing indoors. You can also do soil tests for indoor plants or outdoor plants, or outdoor plants or indoor plants as well. But they will be able to tell you what you need. So if you need more lime, if you need more this, it will give you specifics as to what you need, and then how to fix being resolve your soil so you can have the best results for the plants you are growing. So wild, for example, you may do a soil test and it shows your pH is out of whack. Your pH of your soil for some reason is at a 4 instead of like a 5 to 6, which is what most plants wants to be at, right? So they will tell you what products to use in order to make your pH more alkaline. They will tell you those things. But cooperative extension, I've been talking about them for years. You can tell who's a real plant person, for outdoors especially, if they tell you cooperative extension. Because if they don't, they're just growing for show. And I don't show, baby, I tell. So what's one last thing you want to leave the people with? I want to make sure Wild was here to hear that. You were Wild Amala, plant lover. I appreciate you for asking. What's one last thing you want to leave the people with before we dip out of here?
Build a reciprocal relationship with nature and plants. Love your soil, because a nation without like a healthy soil is not a nation. You don't have a nation anymore. Your soil is important, and those plants are important. So soil, plants, yourself, human health, all those are one. So take care of nature. Stop beating on Mother Nature. Learn to accept Mother Nature for what she is providing for you. So you should be giving back. Stop taking. Give back. Respect. In my opinion. That's just me.
That's what we said. She said RESPECT. So we're going to leave it at that because that's what the Queen said. I thank you, Matt
Thank you.
Holloway, for joining me today. If you are interested in supporting conservation, please look into your local botanical gardens if you have the resources to do so. If you are interested in supporting me, you could DM me for my Cash App. Needs money at this moment. But if you are interested in this series, the more you grow, those of you who just got in late, like Checkmate, I wasn't gonna call you out, but I had to, because where I called you and said, Checkmate, come in, Checkmate 1212, where you at? You did not answer my phone call. You ought not treat me like that. Robbie DeRosa, rather, you ought not to treat me like that either. But it's okay. I'm in all late, and I've been sitting here waiting on you. But when it comes to these plants and this stuff, if you like this series, let me know. This one was a little rough because I had a lot of stuff going on. I choked. I over. I had a lot of stuff going on. Right. We danced at one point. We was doing the Harlem Shake, the two of us. Those of you who just coming in, you missed it.
Yeah.
We was started off doing the Dougie. Those of you who remember this in the comments, y'all go ahead and tell them we was doing the Dougie. Okay. We went to a mean stanky leg. Okay. Before going into the chicken noodle soup, because y'all don't know, I used to be on that album with the remix, with the soda on the side. But with that being said, you all have a beautiful Sunday.
Yes,
Be
yes.
available on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So tune in, check in, and keep on knowing that when you know better, you grow better. Y'all have
Yes. Bye.